Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is Madden Football on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a great one on tap between the Seattle Seahawks and the Carolina Panthers. With that, let's get up to Charlotte. Standing by, our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, thank you. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is in uptown Charlotte, North Carolina at Bank of America Stadium. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Seattle Seahawks and the Carolina Panthers. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand, and this is a game where the defenses, they need to be on their toes because you've got quarterbacks here, yes, that can throw the football, but they can also run it very well too.
Mobile quarterbacks. Remember, for the longest time, they used to tell the quarterbacks, stay in the pocket. We don't want you outside of it at all. Nowadays, that mobility, truly an asset, and people are game planning for it. As a scout told me recently, we are actually working with what the colleges are giving us nowadays.
The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Now a carry for the former Michigan State man, Le'Veon Bell. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up second down. The numbers for Bell on the ground in the game last week. 10 carries, 96 yards, and a touchdown.
And as we discovered in talking with the coaching staff prior to the game, going up against a team that struggled against the run, that's only emboldened them to run the football more. I expect 40 to 50 carries in this game.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. And he's certainly not a guy that drops that football very often.
Indeed, because that's a bit of a surprise. I know he's in the middle of some traffic and people, bodies all around him, but he usually has the focus to haul that one in.
And they'll look to avoid an early 3-and-out here on 3rd and 4. Now Murray. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
And that's their first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks. Great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. Now it's Lockett. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 26. They go play action now. Wilson, he'll buy some time right. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Tyler Lockett was the target there. And now it's 2nd down. And here's the starting offensive unit for Seattle.
And this offensive line, they're going to have to be a lot better than they were right there. We certainly won't measure them just by one play. But they definitely got a big challenge ahead of them in this one, because this defense, they love to run blitz, and they clog up the running lanes.
Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10.
Rush in, rush in, rush in.
They'll run it for the first time with Alvin Kamara. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. We'll look now at our starting defense. They enter this one number 13, Charles, in the NFL in stopping the run.
They're not an elite unit. They're not, as what you'd say, the top part of the league against the run. They're a solid group, though. They do a good job. What they're looking for in this one, though, is an elite performance.
On third down, Wilson. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And it's picked up by the Panthers. And they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line. Charles, he lost a fumble last week as well, so now back-to-back weeks, maybe you expect that from your tailback, but not him.
You're exactly right, because you work a lot with your running backs about how they have to protect the ball in traffic. But downfield, in open space, that's dangerous as well, because you may make someone miss, and their flailing hand can knock the ball away if you don't tuck it away.
Carolina getting set to take the field. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically, what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. The starters defensively now for the Seahawks. They were excellent a week ago in the victory over Arizona.
And what I saw on film was nearly an unstoppable pass rush. They had 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries. So now do you just max protect on offense, keep everyone in and run, 1 or 2 receiver routes to make sure your quarterback stays up? We'll soon find out.
19 yards the pickup there. Move the chains.
And let's face it, what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage afterwards.
Got the speed, the agility, so good with run after catch. And we're only in the first quarter, so they better get a wrangle and a hold on that quickly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And what's really difficult to try and defend him is if you want to press him so that you get him on the ground quickly after the catch, a lot of times he'll just run past you at the initial point of contact, and he'll go deep.
And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11. 2nd down, Murray sets to throw. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36.
That's what I'm talking about. Sacks all day, baby.
And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Well, he did almost everything right. Excellent coverage, breaks on the football, just unable to haul it in and take it the other way. So he dropped an interception. The key for him now, don't dwell on it. Just move on to the next play. NFL kickers nowadays, they make things look so easy because normally from this range, about 2 out of 3. And this is not an easy kick.
Yeah, 20 years ago, you get where he was in that 50 range, maybe a little over. And it's a big kick, but now we just, if they leave it short, you're like, whoa, what happened? And that's what we have here.
Yeah, you're right. 20 years ago, we were saying run some more plays and get closer. Now we think they're definitely within range, and you're exactly right. When it comes up short, there has to be something that went wrong because they have plenty of leg.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Check 50, check 50. Check 59, right? Mike is 59. I know he ain't got it.
Now Wilson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Partner, we had their game last week where they had 6 sacks, so a little bit more momentum here again in the first quarter.
And last week it appeared that they were coming out of sprinters blocks, chasing the quarterback. So how do they continue that? How do they keep making it happen? Different looks, different disguises, different angles that they chase them.
They were so disruptive last week. We'll see what the trend is here as we go forward. The throw over the middle, taken in. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. That one covers 24 yards. It's a 1st down.
check, 59.
Let's set a tone, fellas. Let's set a tone.
Hey. Check, 59.
From the red zone now, here's Wilson on first down. And he's got the hook up to Moore. And he's brought down after a very nice game. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry? Ball gets tipped in the air, because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's first and goal. They'll run it with Kamara, and this will result in him losing yardage. Back to the 3. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, second and goal.
Got it.
Kamara trying again. And he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Alvin Kamara, his 9th touchdown of the season, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. They were able to push him backwards on first down, but this time he forces his way in.
I wonder if he went back to the huddle and said, guys, just a little bit more help, and I can get it done on this one. Maybe even overruled the play call from the sideline, just feeling like he had that opportunity, and he wanted to cash it in.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. Shaquille Griffin knocking it away that time in coverage. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Watch the pass.
Murray again, 2nd and 10. Incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it. Sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. Throwing is Murray on 3rd down, and that will be incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Returnable for Lockett. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left. We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
6-man. Check curls. 40.
Wilson. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Wilson of the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here.
Gotta go, in and out. Let's go.
From the shotgun, Wilson. Wide open receiver, complete. A heck of a play there on 3rd down, but amazingly, they're still short for 4th. They'll break the huddle here and go for it. This is 4th down.
Boy, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent game. Now they're in 4th and manageable.
Just a little short, though, with that marker. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 11 yards there and a 1st down for Seattle.
As a defender, I always found the slant route extremely difficult to cover unless you're able to jump on top of it early, because once he gets his hands on the ball, he's at full speed going away from you.
It all happens in the blink of an eye, doesn't it?
It really does. The timing is so important. That ball's got to be out of the hands of the quarterback and to the receiver like that. And if it is, you often get a very successful.
Kamara has it stripped.
Wow. That ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Geis with the carry on 2nd down. Room here to run. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Darius Geis, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Extra point right down the middle, and it's now 14-0. That time a 6-play drive, and it's capped off by a Darius Geis touchdown run. This will be taken to the back of the end zone, and no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Panthers now as their offense comes back out onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. On 2nd and 2, Murray. That's complete. It's Bell. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
So that was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? 2nd and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the 1st down, and that's exactly what he did.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Throwing on 1st down is Murray. It's caught. Smith. Oh, it's out. Smith lost it. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
The offense and Alvin Kamara heading back onto the field. It's the 2nd quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going, but we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series. So those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they search for that patience here now. Now a 1st down carry. It's Kamara. Kamara's got the 1st down and then some. And down to the 7-yard line. It's a gain of 35. Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's 1st and goal just outside the 5. Try to pound it in, Kamara. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. Now a toss. This is Geis. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Darius Geis with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And Le'Veon Bell making his way back out onto the field now. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? They'll start out on the ground with Bell. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
19 yards there on the catch and run.
I like how they worked the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Come on, baby. Let's see what you got.
Murray now on 1st down. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback.
And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes it's quite a surprise to guys playing defense because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. 2 yards, good enough for a first. Throwing now is Murray.
That was a
pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. Now they got to get to the line quickly. Another try after the first down sack. Murray. Now he's going to go deep down the left. Oh, wide open, complete. And he is down deep into Seattle territory. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the red zone, here's the Heisman Trophy winner, Murray. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now a draw play. This is Bell. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Le'Veon Bell, his 5th touchdown now on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed. A lot of football, full half to be played. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The offense and Alvin Kamara heading back onto the field. The passing game, they've had more success there than the running game. Maybe something they game plan for.
How come they didn't tell us about it?
Because they wanted to keep it a secret.
We did ask, didn't we? But I think what happened in this one is they've realized that they've established the run pretty well, and teams are going to key on that. They thought they could open it up and have success through the air, and that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, they've had success at least so far here in the second quarter. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That sends them 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. On 2nd and 12, Wilson steps away to his left. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And all the way down to the 37. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Play action. Now Wilson sliding out of the pocket. It's caught. Lockett. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. 23 yards, the final tally.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
That's right, baby. They don't want it. Good job right there. Good job right there. Check 59, Mike. Mike the 59.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Buying time to his left. He's going to take off with it. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
Check 53, Mike. Watch his flat. Watch his flat. Watch his flat. Watch his flat.
Looking to throw again on second down. Wilson, they'll roll him out right to the end zone, but it's incomplete. Andy Isabella was the intended target, and that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down. So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6.
12. Mike. 12. 59. You.
There's Wilson to throw. Being chased out left. He can run, and it's a Seattle Seahawks touchdown.
Nice job, Brooks. Keep doing it. Touchdown, baby. I see you over there.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. Point after here coming up. And it's no good. Oh, he misses the extra point, and our score stays right where it is. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'm going to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33.
Let him know, let him know.
A final shot before half from Murray. And he's got his man on the out route. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. And now, due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway. This will be taken in at the 1. Then he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So here are the Seahawks ready to take over on offense. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now 1st and 10 at their own 27.
Check 3, check 3.
Now it's Wilson. Rolling to his right. And now he's going to use his legs. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
You don't know no better.
On the ground, Kamara, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And they're going to face a 3rd down.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
The Panthers turn to their nickel set here as they get ready for 3rd down.
Let's go. Hey, we got Mike, number 53. Mike, 53. They're not ready for this, man. They're not ready for this. They still playing too
They snap it at 1. Now Wilson. He lets it fly for Lockett. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
I know the initial focus was on how far that pass was downfield, but how about the coverage on the play? Able to stay with him, get his hands where the receiver's hands were going to try and catch the ball, tips it up in the air, and knocks it away.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Panthers will take over now 1st and 10. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
On 2nd down, it's Bell, and he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Here we go.
Again, it's Bell. And the lane closes quickly for Bell, and he did not make it. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? That definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
They begin on the ground with Kamara. And not much there at all, as he'll get this only up to about the 11. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Check. Hey, pick your team up.
At the 11-yard line.
They run it again with Kamara. Slipped one tackle, but no more, as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. That 2nd down play nets a -4.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Defense wins championships, baby. Hey guys, listen. Mike 5'9", Mike 5'9". All day.
3rd and long. It's Wilson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Malik Collins in there to get him for a loss of 3, and it will be 4th down.
Like how they started the third quarter here. They forced a punt on the first drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their 2nd win coming out of the locker room. And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. And take it right at the 35. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And out will come the offense as they take over. Carolina getting set to take the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
Check. Watch 54.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little.
Blitz coming, and down he goes.
I'm going to hit you all day.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
Put him on the buses.
They'll run it with Bell. An 8-yard gain, so that gets them halfway there. Now they're left with a 3rd and 8 more. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Barry on to punt as he gets this one away. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. Your 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. To throw is Wilson. Rolling to his left. He'll run it. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down.
5 yards on the play. And it's 3rd down.
380. Check. No. Watch the screen. Watch the screen. Watch the screen.
And we're back now in Charlotte. It's the Seahawks with the possession. They also have the lead here as we get set for the fourth and final quarter. And the Seahawks on third down, just 1 for 5 to this point. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage.
No gain? Quarterback sneak? No gain? Aren't you supposed to get something out of that?
Yeah, needed a full yard there. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked down and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
From his own end zone now, it's Murray. And this one complete to Smith. And able to get it across the 10 to the 15. 13 yards, first down, Panthers. Now they have a little more space to maneuver from the 15, 1st and 10. Murray now on first down. Incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
On second down, it's Bell. Second down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. Give him the 3rd down conversion, 5 yards on the play. That right there, a good sign for a team that's had trouble converting 3rd down so far this year. They're in the bottom 5 in the NFL, but they come through there.
Yeah, and I bet if we put our guy Marvin on the case and say, Marvin, tell us where they rank on 3rd and what, right? I bet they're in the top 5 in the league on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 or more, because that's how you end up not converting. Just too much yardage to pick up on 3rd down.
The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Here's Murray. Complete. Smith has it. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
Murray going to throw. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. 7 yards on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Murray, and he will find the open man. It's DJ Moore. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 17-yard line.
If he's their best threat on offense, use your number 1 cover guy on defense. It doesn't matter about size.
They have had him locked up. That just his first catch of the game. Big reason why they're down. Murray now. Perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Back at the 26-yard line.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
And with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Now a man open down the middle of the field. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. On 3rd down, here's Bell. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down. They're going for it. It's Murray. And this is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Seahawks are going to take over the football. That's another mistake there on the drop pass on 4th. And we've seen him do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. Again, it's Kamara. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6. They're going to hurry back to the line now. On 3rd down, here's Kamara. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first.
You know, we might start getting some props here in the booth. You know, that one that says the D and then the fence that you put up next to it. How about that? They brought out the jumbo package and still couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage enough to pick up that first down.
Impressive. They were ready defensively for that jumbo set. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line. Here again comes the captain of this offense leading his crew.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. He's got a man complete. And he will finally be taken down, but not before he reaches the 38. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this 4th quarter. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Quarterback, don't get nervous now. We ain't beginning.
1st down, Murray. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
It'll be a gain of 6, and just like that, it's 3rd down. Caught here by Bell. And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down at the 22. So the victory here for Seattle. And it was a bit of a strange game. They were held scoreless through the entire second half, but their first half output, that's enough to carry them to victory.
And that's an odd game to watch, isn't it? Because when we saw the output in the first half, you think to yourself, okay, they've got something working here. They know what they're doing. They'll continue that along. But instead, it's goose eggs in the second half. Fortunately, enough of a cushion and enough defense to carry them home.
So for the Seahawks, the win will help them keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 6-3 on the year. And they'll get another road date next week as their opponents will be the Washington Redskins. Meanwhile, for Carolina, the turnaround hasn't materialized as they fall to 2-7. And they'll be on the road next week as they get a date with the Jaguars in Jacksonville.